If you're like me, you find putting together your own curriculum intimidating and difficult, and you don't quite know where to start. So I just wanted to share, going into our 5th year of homeschooling now, what I do to prepare a language arts curriculum. There's a bunch of different pieces to it, and I thought that I would just lay them all out here so you can use what you need out of these to build a curriculum that works for your child. Because this is one of those things with homeschooling twice exceptional or gifted kids. We need to be flexible and create what they need. The assumption is that you've tried a pre-built curriculum and it has not worked for you, and so you're trying to put this together from scratch. So this is how I do it. When planning 5th grade, the very first thing that I wanted to look at was reading for pleasure, because I think it's so that we teach our kids that reading can be fun, and that is honestly one of the absolutely most important things I feel like I can teach. I put together a book list that we create together throughout the year of books that he reads, and we can use those as a work sample for what he's doing in language arts. One reason that I like doing this is it allows for flexibility, and it also allows for control over what he gets to do, because most of the things I assign and I say, this is what we're doing. But reading for pleasure means that he gets to decide what he wants to read by its very. The second piece is reading comprehension. This might be confused with the reading for pleasure because we're still just reading. But reading comprehension is more reading small passages and answering some questions about what the text was about. A lot of these are a very basic level. Sometimes we can go into inference, but to start out with, we want to make sure that the kids are understanding what they're reading and not just the ability to read. It is something that I've had to separate the ability to read and the ability to understand what is read. If this sounds like something that your kid deals with, you may consider looking into hyperlexia. My child started reading when he was 3 years old, and it actually allowed him to learn how to talk. But we've learned throughout the years that it's not just the ability to read, but the ability to understand, especially inferences that are made. The next piece that I like to focus on is literature. This is different from reading for pleasure or from reading comprehension because we're talking about a full book. So I do like to choose classic novels, but you could do this with any number of novel studies. And what it means is we are reading a larger text. Reading comprehension, we're reading small passages. The literature, we're reading large books, and we're looking for overall themes within the literature as well as understanding what is read. We're also looking at the author and why someone might write this book and what situation they may have been in when they're writing and other considerations. The next piece is grammar and language. Again, we're just separating out these little pieces. So grammar and language, we're talking about proofreading, where are we using commas, and capitalizing the beginning of sentences. So how I'm going to do that in 5th grade is give short passages to proofread every day. So it'll just be a couple of sentences, and he will just need to find what is incorrect. And he will have the correct passages after he is finished so that he can then correct it himself and see where he went wrong. In addition to grammar and language, we have vocabulary, and I do separate those two out. So we are looking at vocabulary, spelling. We're also looking for new words and definitions. So we are looking at how to spell the words, but we are also looking at how to use these words in a sentence. So I have him write down the word, write down the definition, write a sentence with that word in context so that we understand how to use it, not just what it means. The last 3 sections are all about writing. The first section of writing is journaling. This is similar to reading for pleasure. I want to encourage writing. Now I'm allowing him to use typewritten or handwritten, and he can write on anything that he wants. However, he usually likes to have some sort of a prompt. And so I'm giving him prompts to write on, and I'm just expecting a couple of sentences, but leaving it up to him for how much he wants to go into it. Journaling can be really great to do without editing it. You don't want to go through and correct their journal. This is just to get their thoughts out. If you want to go through and read it, that is up to you. It also can be really nice to have a spot for kids to be able to write all of their thoughts down and just keep this as a way to connect themselves. It can be a really good tool for the future. Now for writing, we want to do journaling, but then we also want to do writing composition. So we want to write for fun, and we want to write so that we can explain or persuade other people of our opinion. So this year in 5th grade, we're going to work on some expository writing, just the explaining passages. So you might think of like research papers or things, but they are going to be rather short. And then we're also going to work on persuasive writing, using evidence that we have looked up to persuade someone of our idea. And the last little bit is typing. Some people do handwriting. We do typing. It's just one of the things that we have changed to make school work for him. He is just finishing up 4th grade and he's typing almost 50 words a minute. And because his brain works so quickly, typing is something he'll be able to do to communicate his ideas as he has them. Since he's gifted, he thinks very quickly and he needs to be able to express himself very quickly. Even without struggles with writing, typing is something that all kids are going to use and something that will benefit them going into their future, high school, college, and beyond. They're going to need to know how to type and how to type well. And I feel like the younger that we can get them started on that, the better. So the different pieces of language arts curriculum that I have chosen to focus on: reading for pleasure, reading comprehension, literature, grammar and language, vocabulary, journaling, writing composition, and typing. If there's anything that you cover that I left out, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe there's some more pieces that I need to add in.